CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight at City Hall, where staff admitted today London won't reach its 2030 greenhouse gas target, which was set 6 years ago when a climate emergency was declared. Daryl Newcomb has more on what's taken the city off track from its environmental goals.
Londoners are making changes to reduce the city's greenhouse gas emissions, but it hasn't been enough to reach our first milestone target.
It will require a longer period of time. It will not be 2030.
In April 2019, City Council declared a climate emergency, and 3 years later, London launched an action plan. But this annual progress report shows community emissions seen here in red are just 22% below the 2005 baseline, well above the line needed to reach our fair share milestone of 55% by 2030.
When we established this 3 years ago, the world was a different place. We have to reflect on that. Things have changed. Therefore, as we look into the future, there will be more heavy lifting.
Community-wide greenhouse gas emissions had dropped as low as 29% below 2005 levels. That was in 2021 at the peak of the pandemic. But since that time, those numbers have crept back up to pre-pandemic levels.
Doing the actions that we've outlined in the Climate Emergency Action Plan will not actually achieve our 2030 or 2050 targets, which I'm disappointed at because ultimately I think it's really important that we're making investments now to mitigate the impacts of climate change.
According to the progress report, just 4.6% of new vehicles purchased last year were EVs and 11.2% were hybrids. In addition, a provincial decision about power generation has reduced the benefits of electrification.
The province is adding more gas to our electrical grid, so emissions for the corporation are up 17% higher than they should be because of that.
To get back on track, the report suggests a continued focus on implementing the Mobility Master Plan, supporting the creation of energy-efficient homes, and recognizing positive actions.
We're not panicking because there is a long runway. We have to have the continued action and support at all levels of government and throughout the community.
Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
London City councillors could be in line for a substantial pay raise next term. Currently, councillors earn London's median full-time income $67,000. Today, a task force discussed raising it to between the 65th and 75th percentiles, roughly $90,000 a year. They'd also get 4% more for chairing a committee and 8% more if chosen as deputy mayor or budget chair. No changes to the mayor's compensation were considered.
We have got the message loud and clear that a council job is something that takes up all of a councillor's time if they're going to do it well. And so we're looking at pay so that it really aligns with that nature of the job. But with respect to mayoral pay, we think it's already there.
London police have deemed an overnight fire in the Old East Village suspicious. Fire crews say the flames ignited inside a home on Dufferin near Quebec just after 1 a.m. Today, there was significant damage visible throughout the home. Neighbors say an older couple had moved out of the property less than 2 months ago, and there were indications new owners were preparing to move in, but the home appeared to be unoccupied. Damage is estimated at about $500,000. London police say they've laid charges for a third time against a man accused of putting up hateful graffiti. Police say they were called to northwest London, where they found several hateful symbols and words on signs and other property. They say they arrested a man nearby, and he's been charged with mischief over $5,000. According to police, the 42-year-old suspect has previously been charged twice for hate-related graffiti at Emily Carr Public School. The provincial government has ended full public video access for Ontario court proceedings. Those restrictions have been put in place in response to a recent rise in disruptions called Zoom bombings. With more, here's Michelle Molesky.
Britt LaRue was reading her victim impact statement when court was Zoom bombed.
Genitalia was in the courthouse. That's wild.
An unwelcome participant posted a pornographic video with sound for all to hear and see. The man accused of criminal harassment was being sentenced.
And I had to sit there while the court figured out what to do in that moment. And it was very uncomfortable being that close to him for that long and just sitting there.
All of a sudden, they're bombing us like almost every day, and it's horrific.
Criminal defense lawyer Patricia Brown has had her own hearings derailed by offensive language and comments.
They're essentially kind of taking over the court. It's extremely distracting. It causes a lot of disruption.
Citing a, quote, notable rise in Zoom bombings of Ontario court proceedings, the Ministry of the Attorney General announced this week the public will no longer have access to Zoom links. If the public would like to attend, they will be required to do so in person, the Assistant Deputy Attorney General wrote in a memo to court staff. Victims or complainants can get the links from the Crown's office or the witness assistance social workers. The media will have to formally request links going forward. And then each participant will have to identify themselves before being permitted access.
This is a tedious process to identify each and every person that wants to be a participant and wants to come into the courtroom.
But it's one Brown says is important because Zoom can be useful to protect victims and witnesses from the stress of being in person.
It kind of turned into a way that people knew they could victimize victims all over again. And that I'm glad the court stepped in to do something for that.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Provincial health officials say most of Ontario's new measles cases reported in the last week are in Huron-Perth. They say out of 32 new cases across Ontario, 19 are from the Huron-Perth health region. That includes Stratford and popular Lake Huron beach spots. Public health experts have urged vaccination to slow down case spread, which is highly contagious. Local health officials are warning the public to be cautious after a recent positive rabies test in Chatham, Kent from a bat. Chris Campbell has more on the risks and the precautions you can take.
It's not unusual to spot a bat on a warm summer night, but if you find one behaving oddly, don't get too close.
This disease is 100% preventable.
Chatham Kent Public Health says a bat recently tested positive for rabies, prompting a warning to steer clear of stray or aggressive animals, especially those acting unusually tame or sick. At the same time, the Windsor-Essex County Health Unit is also asking the public to report any contact, bites or scratches with a bat, no matter how small.
We know that rabies is circulating in wildlife in our region and in Ontario. We know that bats carry the virus. We know that skunks, raccoons, fox, and other species carry virus. So we should consider all of them an exposure, a potential exposure for humans, and make sure that we are away from the wildlife.
Medical Officer of Health Dr. Mehdi Alouche says if you're bitten or scratched by a bat or any unfamiliar animal, you should seek medical help immediately.
We haven't had a human case for decades, and that shows the importance of awareness of our population, of our community, that when they are exposed, they reach out for help.
This weekend, Point Pelee National Park is taking a different approach with a celebration of these flying mammals.
People shouldn't be scared of bats because they're part of a natural, healthy ecosystem. So when you see a great blue heron, you don't get freaked out. That's just an animal that lives in your world. Bats are like that.
CTV's own science and technology specialist Dan Riskin is hosting The Wonderful World of Bats Saturday evening, highlighting their importance in nature from pollination to pest control.
If you see bats flying around, you're not in any danger at all. If you touch a bat, you're vulnerable to rabies, because if the bat does have the disease, that's how you're going to get it. It's either going to scratch you or bite you. Even the smallest little bite can pass on the virus.
Public health officials say bats should be respected and protected, but never handled with bare hands. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
An Ontario teenager says unsafe beach warnings should be taken seriously after a quick dip in the water landed her in hospital with a serious E. coli infection. Adrian Gobriel has more on those risks that ramp up when the weather gets hot.
A red flag risk.
The worst temperatures for E. coli are right what we're seeing now, 30 degrees to 35 degrees.
With a heat warning in place for parts of Ontario, Quebec, and eastern Canada, cooling off in the lake can at times pose a shocking health risk.
I was bleeding. I couldn't keep anything down. I ended up throwing up and then running to the bathroom every 5 seconds.
Lindsay Page ended up in hospital for 10 days this month after a visit to Nickel Beach along the Ontario shores of Lake Erie.
We just kind of went in the water a couple times to cool off. I was about up to like just under my chest area, like I was like right here.
While the beach she visited wasn't closed due to E. coli at the time, the 17-year-old was still diagnosed with an E. coli infection. Her doctors believe she was infected while swimming in Lake Erie.
They said I could feel the symptoms for up to 6 weeks.
While the beach Page swam at remains open today, across the country from Vancouver to PEI, multiple waterways from coast to coast are closed due to high E. coli levels. Warm summer weather across parts of the country is a contributing factor.
Almost an incubator for E. coli to reproduce and cause problems for swimming holes, for lakes.
Multiple studies have raised concerns about water safety tests on E. coli, often taking too long to alert the public of unsafe levels.
I really think it's important to keep up with the E. coli management.
One sure sign of dangerously high E. coli levels is a red flag like the one behind me. As for the heat wave, well, it's already lifted for here in southern Ontario. It's expected that by tomorrow, Quebec will get some reprieve, and by Monday, Atlantic Canada will be released from the sizzling summer temperatures. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Tourism London is launching a new marketing campaign aimed at bringing more Americans to Canada's UNESCO City of Music. With more on the pitch, touting the sounds of summer, here's Nick Paparella.
There's no doubt that summertime in London has a different and unique musical vibe. Now, Tourism London is trying to capitalize on our city's vibrant and growing music scene with a major U.S. marketing campaign.
The Summer Sounds Better Here campaign is really about celebrating London's identity as Canada's UNESCO City of Music. The idea was to really bottle down that experience and then having London be the soundtrack to summer and then inviting visitors to come experience that.
Tourism London Sean Murray says it's a multi-platform campaign blitz.
We've already launched some targeted digital ads with that Summer Sounds Better Here slogan.
Mario Cercelli is chair of the London Music Awards and London Music Week.
Great volley by Tourism London. It makes perfect sense for a lot of reasons. First of all, the economic conditions are such where, you know, the American purchasing power is they get 35% more coming here.
Not a care in the world tonight. The marketing campaign is targeting states like Michigan, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and cities that are within driving distance.
We've already had great successes with Sunfest and Rock the Park, but there's going to be more events. There's an International Trombone Festival this weekend that we're hosting. Some exciting events in September, like East Park's return with Fairway Fest or the brand new Rock the Runway hosted at London's International Airport.
Now it's time for us to tell the rest of the world that we've got something going right here in London, Ontario.
Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Fans of a popular video game from all over the world are in London this weekend for the annual Warframe convention.
I've met, people in Alabama and California, Puerto Rico, just everywhere.
A long line of Tennicon fans all the way around the block from Dundas to the Hilton on King Street. Warframe is a third-person action video game developed by London-based Digital Extremes. It has more than 80 million players worldwide. Organizers say tickets for this year's convention sold out in 10 minutes. And that didn't stop fans who weren't able to get tickets from traveling, hoping a space might open up.
At this point, really, it's a waiting game. And if I get lucky, I get lucky. If not, I still can watch it just like everyone else. They're going to stream it live, so we can watch it that way. And I'm actually here on location, so I can semi-hear it. I can semi-see some stuff, so it's still a great experience.
For the first time, the Stratford Festival is extending one of its shows into December. Jeff Pickle has more on the decision to make this season the festival's longest ever.
This is Uno, and then the other dog is named Clue.
For Harper Ray Ash, who plays Annie in the Stratford musical, it's been the role of her young career.
Things have been going great. The run has been awesome. It's so much fun to get to perform.
And now she's part of history.
I'm very excited because now Annie is going to be the longest running show in festival history.
For the first time ever, Stratford Festival extending a show 6 weeks right into mid-December, which Ash says makes total sense for Annie.
Like it starts about 2 weeks before Christmas, and our big finale scene is in Mr. Warbucks' mansion, and it's decorated for Christmas.
The festival also making the unprecedented move to extend 3 additional shows. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, give me a home where Kardashians are roam. Hey, it's Leo on the phone. He got a party going on.
Anne of Green Gables and Macbeth.
If we should fail, we fail. Your royal father is murdered.
So we're seeing this year sales are a nice bump ahead of the previous year.
After a sluggish 2024 season, the festival says it's looking to capitalize on a bounce back year.
So we wanted to take this chance to add some more opportunity for people to come and to make it a season that exceeds our goals so that we're on a balanced financial place.
But they acknowledge venturing into new territory is not without risk.
We don't know if this is going to work. We don't know what the weather's going to be like, so there is some risk there. But there is great benefit for giving opportunity for audiences to return or to try us for the first time.
For the young star of Annie,
it's a mix of nerves and excitement.
She is excited to do what she loves for longer. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
When we come back, the president's base spurned, the latest on the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, and the MAGA supporters now turning on Trump. Losses in industrial stocks weighed on the Toronto market as Canada's main stock index finished lower. The TSX ended the week down 73 points. In New York, the Dow fell 142 and the NASDAQ added 10. The Canadian dollar gained almost a fifth of a cent. On commodity markets, gold added $13 an ounce and oil dropped 18 cents a barrel. Developments tonight in the controversy surrounding President Donald Trump and the late sexual predator Jeffrey Epstein. Within his own party, there's growing discontent with how the situation has been handled. Kamil Karamali has the latest.
U.S. President Donald Trump signing a cryptocurrency bill today with no mention of the controversy swirling around him. Trump supporters burning MAGA hats in protest of the U.S. president's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Adding fuel to a growing fire, Trump facing increasing pressure from his own base to release court documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
The MAGA conspiracy, which actually fueled a lot of this, suggesting that somehow this was a political elite cabal that was shielding and protecting Jeffrey Epstein.
Trump posting online, "I've asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony." Bondi in response saying they're ready to move the court Friday to unseal the grand jury transcripts. But Democrats want more than just the grand jury testimony about Epstein and his associate Ghislaine Maxwell.
Here's the problem. The grand jury testimony is largely about Epstein and Maxwell, not about all the rich and powerful men who abused, assaulted, and abandoned young women.
This comes as a Wall Street Journal report claims Trump had written to Epstein in a birthday note in the early 2000s that reportedly included a hand-drawn picture of a naked woman. Trump has denied writing the note and threatened to sue the paper. But American news outlets now reporting what's also part of the unreleased files are logbooks for Epstein's private island.
They need to release more than the grand jury testimony. They need to release witness interviews, all of the documents, statements.
All of it driving up the heat on Trump from critics and supporters, including some calling for a special prosecutor to investigate.
The president would not recommend a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. That's how he feels.
The Department of Justice has now asked a federal judge to make public the grand jury testimony, but even unsealing those transcripts could be a lengthy process and could even include court hearings to determine the impact on victims. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Comfortable and pleasant, I think
that encapsulates much of southern Ontario's weather today. A very good Friday on that front, but a different story developing through the overnight. Into tomorrow morning, we'll see increasing cloudiness, maybe even some foggy patches across the lower Great Lakes. Clear tonight and cool. Fog then warming up to the mid to upper 20s with a chance of showers and thunderstorms moving through. I'll break down what you need to know right after this.
Welcome back. Gary Archibald with me tonight. Gary, we're wrapping up this week with a break from the intense heat that we saw earlier. A beautiful day in London today. How's the rest of the weekend shaping up?
Weekend doesn't look so bad early Saturday morning, but instead of that clear sky, lots of sunshine, comfortable temperatures, Carlyle, we are in for a bit of a warm-up followed by some showers, maybe even a light thunderstorm. We'll break it down for you right now. 24 degrees today, was 2 degrees below seasonal, sunshine right across the board for much of southern Ontario. And we're still looking at a comfortable evening. Most of the worst weather is stateside, south of Lake Erie, or moving through Lake Superior into northwestern Ontario. The chances of seeing some showers between now and dawn are almost at zero, at least for the city of London. Different story, though, as we head towards Saturday afternoon and for Sunday morning. The cold front sweeps right across the entire region of southern Ontario. The overnight temperatures under clear conditions with a light breeze. Look at this, 12 degrees in Kitchener. That's cool for this time of year. 13 in London. Long Point does stand out at 19. 15 in Port Stanley. You get the idea. We're in the double digits, but not in the 20s, feeling like the 30s through the early morning stage tomorrow. That's good for a great night's sleep, I hope, for all of you. East Park is our sponsor. Thanks to our friends there. As we take a look at the next 7 days for London, fog in the morning dissipates, giving way to increasing cloudiness for the afternoon. A good chance of seeing showers and or thunderstorm activity. More showers on a mostly cloudy Sunday. Note the temperatures go from 28 to mid-20s. Monday, 25, then 28, 30, 30, and 24. The roller coaster ride. That's what we'll be taking temperature-wise. The middle of next week throughout much of Ontario, at least the southern region, will be cloudy with unsettled conditions bringing showers. The Midwest, similar looking forecast, fog, then increasing cloudiness, maybe some showers and thunderstorm activity. A mostly cloudy Sunday, but cooler. Morning showers possible. Monday looks good, sunny and comfortable for the most part. Tuesday warms up, still fair. Mostly cloudy through the midweek. Temperatures just shy of 30 degrees and then cooling off a week from now down to 23. That'd be 4, almost 5 degrees below seasonal. Wherever you are, enjoy your weather and your weekend.
Thank you, Gary. Federal wildfire authorities are warning of high risk still ahead for August in the midst of an already devastating season. Communities have been destroyed, smoky air lingering across multiple provinces, and lengthy evacuations forcing people from their homes. With the latest, here's Mike LeCouture.
We're at the halfway point of the year, and while Canada isn't on track to break a record for wildfires, it could be the second worst year in the last decade. There are 561 wildfires burning across Canada right now, and conditions for the rest of the summer will be ripe for more. Still, federal officials say they're ready to protect communities.
Whether that's water bombers, whether that's a requirement for the Canadian Armed Forces to do an evacuation, whether that's helping with supplying things like fire hoses, whether that's it can be a broad assortment of matters that we're concerned with.
Officials say so far this year, wildfires have burned 5.5 million hectares of land. That's more than double the average over the last decade. To give you an idea of the scope, that's nearly 8 times the size of the Greater Toronto Area. Today, the federal government announced a $12 million investment over 4 years to establish the Wildfire Resilience Consortium of Canada.
It will connect domestic, international governments the private sector, wildfire scientists and experts, and affected communities to share knowledge, science, and technology so we can fight fires better.
But it's not a national disaster agency, which was first considered 2 years ago during the record-setting wildfire season of 2023. And environmental researchers say prevention is also key.
There's absolutely a role to be played for different forms of forest management, including control burns, including various types of timber harvesting and things like that, that can be done to reduce the amount of fuel that's on the landscape.
But Kaplan is adamant. He says the big fires we're seeing now are being driven by climate change. And he adds the best way to mitigate the fires is to get a handle on greenhouse gas emissions. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, a coast-to-coast campaign behind the wheel of a familiar race car. Maria Saru has more on the real-life version of Lightning McQueen.
The squeals and the smiles say it all. Children at Le Jardin des Étoiles daycare have been waiting for Lightning McQueen, and the excitement was revving long before he arrived.
It means a lot to them. We watch a lot of Lightning McQueen, and they've been looking forward to this since I told them it was going to happen.
Some are fans of the red race car.
It's a nice car. I like it so much.
I like it. He's a big fan of McQueen, actually. He has like a bunch of little toys and stuff.
Others have different favorites.
I like the green car because he thinks he wins the last race, but he didn't.
Gary Papaya says he's just as obsessed with the car's Disney franchise. That's why he converted his 2015 Mustang into a close copy of the main character. And now he takes it around the country for free, just to see the joy.
I'm so happy doing it. That's why even if it cost me a few bucks in my own money, hard-earned money, I'm still doing it.
And the kids are grateful for the pit stop.
There's kids with Lightning McQueen PJs and clothes, so they were quite excited.
The last leg of this tour ends here in PEI, but Papaya says he's not parking the fun anytime soon. Maria Saru, CTV News, Summerside, Prince Edward Island.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Ciao and have a great weekend.